And now I'd like to just skip forward a bit to a story I think that took place during his 4th year as a monk, when he had a very major realization in his practice. On the 24th of June, 1982, my mind didn't want to think at all, as my awareness was firmly established, abiding only in the present moment. It had been sharp and alert all day without feeling any sleepiness. That evening when I sat in meditation, my mind saw the body in such subtle detail that it was as if my body had dissolved into the space element. There was absolutely nothing there. The state was similar to the body being totally empty or expansively open. It's a state I can't correctly describe. When I finished sitting meditation, I got up to do walking meditation. My mindfulness was good, and I walked until my heart felt content and at ease. By 9:30 p.m., I went up to my kuti and lay down. I continued practicing samadhi, keeping mindfulness established at the mind. I then observed the arising of a sabhava dhamma. A bright ray of light came racing through, and my mind moved outwards, shedding off its rust or the anusaya in the process. I witnessed the mind completely abandoning satisfaction and dissatisfaction. I was overcome with a feeling of indescribable amazement. The moment the mind moved outwards and shed its rust, a knowing arose within. The mind has separated away. From where mindfulness and clear comprehension came from, I don't know, but it was much greater than before. The following morning, I looked upon everything as being just nature. My mind was so cool and tranquil, experiencing only an indescribable lightness and ease. If anyone said anything inappropriate, it didn't affect my mind in any way. I knew that all feelings of satisfaction and dissatisfaction had now been shed. My mind has separated away and let them go. When I saw other people, I fully comprehend that they're all the same. I also had a greater understanding of each person's emotions or personality and know their state of being is normal and natural for them. Within everybody, I see only emptiness, completely open. There is no me or them. This feeling is one that I had never known or experienced before. The following morning, I wanted to cry when thinking of myself and the folly of my naive and deluded heart that had enjoyed indulging in the emotion of satisfaction without ever thinking to rid itself of the suffering that it caused. Instead, I had always been going along with my own preferences and wishes. In truth, it's only a small mental adjustment that's needed. I had mistakenly perceived myself to be stuck on something else, whereas in actual fact I was only stuck on the emotion of satisfaction, my wish to please others. Once I'd corrected and gone beyond this, everything became lighter. My heart remained cool and peaceful throughout the entire day and night. I can't adequately describe just how tranquil and aware the mind was. I felt that my mindfulness and concentration were fully developed for this level of practice, as my mind is one-pointed in all postures and activities. I did not necessarily need to practice sitting or walking meditation. The mind was completely at ease, and I saw everyone as being a part of nature without feeling any satisfaction or dissatisfaction. It was perfectly balanced and objective, without moving to either side by approving or disapproving of anyone as being attractive or unattractive. They are all viewed impassively. It's like having once abandoned feelings of satisfaction or attraction towards the body. Everybody becomes exactly the same, without anybody being more special than another. Both the young and old are of the same natural condition. All are impermanent and devoid of any entity that could be called a self. My heart has no worries or concerns for anybody, not even for myself. The mind has separated away. It's no longer attached to the body, whether it be my own or somebody else's, nor is it attached to any material objects. When seeing, I just see. When hearing, I just hear. The mind moves in the midst of peacefulness and tranquility. Absolutely everything in the world seems to be merely elements that comply only to nature, and as such the mind has irrevocably let go of its attachment and identification with the body. As a result, greed and aversion have finally been extinguished, and all sexual and sensual desire has permanently died out. The work of body contemplation has come to a conclusion, and so has the reflection on the loathsomeness of food. Having let go of all attachment towards the body, the task of food reflection no longer has a purpose. Since I ordained, there has never been a day that I've eaten food with desire. Okay, I'd just like to leave it there. Are there any questions or comments?
I have a question. The last bit where he's kind of reporting the results, kind of struck me as, this kind of struck me strange. It's not very common people do that, especially in court when, with the Pagano guys, I think, who will look against that. But yes, I was just wondering if any comments about that. But is, I don't know if this is...
Yeah, Pachitya, Pachitya 9 is, I think it's Pachitya 9. Honestly, reporting one's actual attainment to a layperson is a Pachitya. It has to be quite direct to be an offense, and he's not really directly claiming this attainment directly to a layperson, so in that case I don't think it would be an offense, but he's somewhat indirectly referring to the attainment of anagamin, where all sensual desire is gone. The other side of the latent tendencies have passed away. But Ajahn Mahabua got criticized for the same thing. He talked about his realization of arhatship in response to a question about Maranusati from a lay woman. But even then he didn't. It was like one step removed from being absolutely direct.
Do you have a sense for like how one is to take that, or what the...
Get super inspired to practice.
Maybe I can just also add, in kind of deciding to read from this book in particular, I felt like this is really is a very special book because, like you said, like for the most part, the meditation masters, they're very guarded about their practice, and in most of the other spiritual biographies that I've read, it's very few details about kind of the things that they've experienced, or if it does include their experiences, it's kind of maybe stories that other people heard them tell. Like, for example, the biography of Lumpur Cha is very much like that, whereas there's just a lot of stories that people had heard him tell over the years. But this is really, I think quite special and unique in that he really goes into incredible amount of detail just in the things that he experienced. And on one level, it's kind of like there's the Patimokkha rule that we're not really supposed to talk about our attainments or things that we've experienced in meditation, but it's also kind of like, on a rare occasion, if there is a great meditation master like this who really goes into a lot of detail, I think it can be incredibly helpful for some people. Like for myself, I found it just extremely inspiring reading about these kinds of details about his practice and what he experienced.
And sometimes we can develop ideas or views about like what anagamis or arhants or attained people should be like, and then the reality of it doesn't always match our preconceived ideas about them. So then we might question why are they doing that? Like in this time that Ajahn Mahabua talked about his attainment of arhatship in this very public setting. Then the next day there was another, and he cried. He started crying when he was talking about it. And then the next day, a layman asked him, like, well, I thought arhats weren't supposed to cry. And what was that all about? And like, Ajahn Mahaprabhu was just kind of like, you know, how would you know that? You have no idea what you're talking about. Like, I think he was also very insulting toward this layman who asked that, but I won't repeat what he said.